Hello everyone, Chris from the Headache and Pain Management Centre here for your Friday morning, and today, at the request of someone who actually emailed us and typed in the comments a couple of days ago, we're talking about occipital neuralgia, which is a little known but relatively painful condition that you can get and sometimes be diagnosed with when you have head pain. G'day, if you're joining us, type in below, say hello, and feel free to ask a question while we're through and we'll answer it for you. So, occipital neuralgia, now this one is a relatively it is commonly diagnosed with people with headache type conditions. So it can run up basically the back of your head. So basically an occipital nerve, okay, is the nerve that runs up both sides of the back of your head, just into your scalp up the back, okay, often called the greater occipital nerve. And basically what occipital neuralgia is literally, neuralgia meaning pain in the nerve. So it means pain that's coming from that nerve. Now with occipital neuralgia, it's basically characterised by a sharp stabbing pain coming up the back of your head. Sometimes it can feel like a bit of a shoot up the back of the head, like a prickle, like that kind of thing, a bit like lightning. It can feel a bit electric, can be sensitive to touch the skin around the back of the head as well. Now I suppose where the question about occipital neuralgia comes is, what is it, what can we do to fix it? And when it comes to occipital neuralgia, like all other types of headache and migraine conditions, they seem to share a common mechanism. The same thing actually causes it. And basically the reason why that is because all the nerves that pass from pretty much here, so the top lip, all the way up and over to the back of the neck, so that includes the trigeminal nerve, which can come down the side of your head, the occipital nerve that goes up into the back of the skull, but also the nerves from the upper cervical spine, so from C1, C2, sometimes C3 as well on some people, and often the vagus nerve as well, which is responsible for your fight or flight response. So all of those nerves all pass through the same area in your brain. So what can happen is that you can have what's called a sensitization of that part of the brain, and basically you can have pain in any or all of those nerves, okay? So you can have pain that feels like it's coming from your occipital nerve, like a shooting, stabbing pain that goes up the back of your head, sometimes both sides, sometimes one side or the other, but the cause can actually be something completely different. Okay, it can actually be coming from your jaw, it can be coming from your neck, or it can be coming from something completely different. So sometimes it can be a little bit confusing to diagnose headache types, whether it be migraine, tension headache, occipital, trigeminal neuralgia, because basically all of the definitions of those things are all coming from symptoms only. Okay, so whether it's a throbbing pain, if it's on one side of your head, if it's a shooting type pain, but it doesn't actually tell us anything about what's causing the pain in the first place. And what I can tell you is that the cause of the pain is a sensitization of that part of the brain where all of those nerves go into. Okay, so you can have occipital neuralgia type symptoms where it shoots up into the back of the head, can zap, can zing, can cause sort of a sensitive to touch. But the point that I'm making is that it can be something else that's causing the pain entirely. Almost like a referred pain for someone who has, say, sciatica, like the pain down the back of the leg, when it's actually coming from something happening in the back. So when it comes to occipital neuralgia, it's more of a name. It's more of it's a name that describes a whole bunch of symptoms. Okay, so a shooting, zapping-like pain at the back of the head, but it doesn't necessarily mean the occipital nerve is the cause. It can be something completely different. And from what we've seen, most of the time it's actually from a joint in the neck, the way the joint's moving, and basically the signal from that joint in the neck is being confused by the brain and it's causing it to do something completely different. So instead of just feeling a stiff neck, you win what I like to call the opposite of Tats Lotto, where it's actually causing zaps and zings up the back of your head instead. G'day Mary, nice to see you there, thanks for shouting out. So when it comes to occipital neuralgia, what we need to do is, if you're not getting relief from the normal things that do that, and a lot of the normal treatments, the medical treatments, can include injections into the nerve, which is really kind of severe thing to do. It can be some gentle stretching or movement of the top of the neck to get the nerve sort of gliding through, or it can be some really painful, some really strong painkillers and nerve drugs such as Lyrica or Tegretol or things like that, which can be a little bit like throwing a really like heavy 1-ton rock into, nailing a nail into the wood or something like that. So it's really too much for what it's worth. When you've got occipital neuralgia symptoms, what you need to do is you need to get your neck checked. You need to get all of the things that can sensitize that headache hub, that nerve center in your brain, assessed to see if it is actually the occipital nerve that's causing it, or it's just the occipital nerve getting a little bit of a scapegoat, like it's the thing that's being blamed, when really the actual cause is a lack of movement in the neck or jaw joints. Hey, I hope that's helped. If there's any questions about occipital neuralgia or any other types of headache or migraine for that matter, type it in underneath. It's good to see that I've got a number of people watching. G'day there, it's good to see you. And type in questions, like, share, comment below to let us know if there's anything else that you'd like to know. And feel free to request anything that you'd like me to talk about, because always happy to talk about any type of headache, migraine or chronic pain condition to help as many people as we can get the relief that they need. I hope you have a really good Friday for the rest of your day, and I'll be back again soon. Thanks. Bye for now.